Hello and welcome to episode 46 of Speak Free with MattyG. I'm joined today by a very special guest, Nick Stav, content creator, TikToker. You've dabbled in sports presenting. You've done it all. Welcome to the Speak Free studio. Welcome to 27 Project.
Thank you. I can't wait to rip in again on another podcast. My boy MattyG, eh? We can both talk underwater, so let's have a good one, eh?
Fucking oath. But we'll talk today about, obviously, content creation, your Twitch account, some beef you had with someone on there. We'll also, talk about creating content for TikTok and your experience with that. I'm sure you've copped a lot of positivity from that and a lot of negativity as well, which we'll touch on. But I also want to talk about your work with during the World Cup with was it Optus Sport during the World Cup, and you've done work with Channel 7 and SBS, and it's fucking awesome, man. Yeah. That's awesome. But take me back. What age were you when you started creating content?
Realistically, as a kid, I played FIFA, football, so I grew up in that era where YouTube was a kind of area that we used to watch for like entertainment.
Yeah.
Like I would wake up in the morning, bring out the iPad, pull on YouTube, let's see what the FIFA guys have pulled out. So it was always something I kind of wanted to do, whether it was FIFA, football. I don't know how I would get there. But when I first started was TikTok. TikTok during COVID lockdown, like everyone had so much time on their hands. But the funny way I started was that first lockdown we had, the first ever COVID, I just started uploading like clips. Just like I edited up football clips and like would caption it with things, and like it'd get views, and I like you get a thrill of it. Like you do, realistically you do, and especially because during COVID you post it, go into my classes and then come out, 10K views.
Yeah.
And then after I went back to school that year, I kind of stopped. I think I had like about 10K followers just from like posting like random clips. Anyway, and I put it to the side. Didn't really touch it for again. Then the lockdown comes around in 2021.
Yeah, the worst time.
Exactly. And then I had so much time. Exactly, because we thought going into a 2-week lockdown.
Yeah.
Then it just got longer and longer and longer.
Yeah, it was like no end in sight.
It was.
Yeah.
And then I was so bored. And then I was like, I looked at this account. I was like, I had 10K. I was like, I might as well just throw my face on it and just see what it is. And I would have been about 2021, 19. I would have been 19, 18, turning 19. And then just started posting on there. And then I tried like different things. So I was like, I'm going to try this. Then the one thing that kicked off was tier lists. And I did like ranking football players and like, okay, I'm going to rank this penalty guy out of 5 tiers. And then I posted that video, got like 250K views. I'm like, oh, what?
Yeah.
I'm going to do it again with something else. And then it just spiraled out of control. And I came out of lockdown with like 50K followers. And then I was like, then it just kind of grew and grew and grew. But yeah, I was about 18, 19 at that time.
Yeah, cool. And what are you at now? You're over 400,000
yeah,
followers.
400, approaching 500.
And man, it's easy to get a lot of views, right? On TikTok.
Yeah.
Maybe not easy. Maybe some people put 100 videos up, they get fucking no views, right?
Yeah.
But it's a lot easier and more random to blow up off one video, right? Than it is to get actually people following your account and staying there for it. So the fact that you've got over 400,000 people following you, that's fucking massive.
Yeah.
Like the watch to I'm going to follow that guy ratio would be so low. Right?
Oh, it's crazy. It's
so low.
It is crazy though. Like you can go into the analytics and you can see.
Yeah.
The crazier one to look at in that, it's like it shows your For You and following page. It's always 99% For You page and then 1% following.
Yeah.
So that's why when I say it's like, I always say to people, I heard it on another podcast and like, how do you get people to follow you? And they say on TikTok, the way to do is post the same thing so many times that people get familiar with you that you have to follow. So like sometimes people go, okay, this worked. Okay, I'm going to do something else now. It's like, if you smash out that one thing, like I said at the start, I was doing tier lists.
Yes.
And I just started smashing it out. At the time, I didn't realize that's what was getting me followers. But I was like, imagine in the viewer's mind, okay, I like that tier list video, whatever. Okay, I skip. Then I see him a second time. Then by the time the 5th time comes, it's like, I can't miss this guy now. I've got to follow him. And I think that's the way the viewer approaches it. And that's why when people ask.
That's smart, actually.
I think that's what I tell people. I go, put in their face that much that they have to take it. They have to bite it at one stage. And then that's when you can start delving in other subcategories and
once
things
you start
like that.
to build up that following. It is funny because like that happens with me a lot too. Like I'll see a comedian or something pop up and I'll watch like one video, right? And then they'll come up again in a couple of days. I'll be like, fuck, that's funny again. And then maybe it will take me to maybe a third time where I go, fuck, this cunt's really funny. Like, I'm going to fucking follow this motherfucker.
And
Like,
you subconsciously do it without even thinking that you're falling into that. Like I thought about the other day, I was scrolling through Instagram Reels and you see these same people come up. And it's the same thing. You go with your friends and they're talking about it. It's like, my friends are talking about it. I can't miss it. I gotta, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that FOMO that I gotta follow on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like you're like sometimes I don't think about it. Like I kind of just post videos and not think about like the followers.
Yeah.
I will realistically look at the views because the views try and tell you, okay, this is working, this is not working.
Yeah.
But the followers, they kind of just come with the videos I put out, realistically.
And has TikTok helped your Twitch account massively, or has it been the other way around?
Oh no, it's TikTok to Twitch, and
Yeah.
that's why I say to people. People say, "Oh, let me have a crack at YouTube." I always tell them, and I go, "You got to go through TikTok first." This is the way I put it to them. I go, "TikTok, you're scrolling through your TikTok page. You don't choose what comes up.
Yeah.
Yes, it does tend to what you like as your For You page, but you're not clicking on the video to watch it. So it forces people to watch your content. Where YouTube, it goes out, people have to search for it, and then if it comes in their recommended, they have to click on it themselves
Yes.
and then watch the whole video. So that's like 3 decisions in itself. Where TikTok, it gives you the decision.
That's
so
true.
you can get free exposure via TikTok, via Instagram Reels.
And YouTube used to be so much different to like, you used to be able to blow up from YouTube. Like,
100%.
So many people did, you know, they'd put out some video content and it's like, they would blow up. No one can blow up just from YouTube now. No one.
You got to like look for somewhere now or
Yeah.
already associate with them. Like that.
Yeah.
It's so saturated, that market. And that's what I say with Twitch. It was like during that time I was blowing up during lockdown with TikToks, I was just like, you could pin comments on TikTok. You can't do it anymore. And I go, follow my Twitch for more content. And I literally hadn't posted on my Twitch. I wasn't streaming at that time. Then I gained about like 300 followers just by doing that. And then I went live for the new FIFA that dropped that year, FIFA 22. And then you just post clips from those streams, put it on the TikTok. And then like I said, once someone watches that clip for the 5th time and they find it interesting, it's like, I got to jump in his live stream, no?
Yeah.
And that's how it happens. And the beauty of the TikTok back in the day that helped the Twitch was the TikTok lives. TikTok lives, again, wasn't as saturated as it was, as it is now, sorry.
Yeah.
But I think you even remember during that lockdown period, how many people in Australia were going live on TikTok, not only
or
blowing
Instagram
up,
Live as
they
well.
were making
Yeah.
tens of thousands. Like some of the numbers I've heard from people themselves, crazy numbers.
Yeah.
Crazy numbers. But that was a time where I literally just pull my phone out, record, like literally like that TV there, just record it.
Yeah.
And if I had a certain pack on FIFA, you'd get like 1,000 viewers just by that. And people would hop on from the TikTok live to the Twitch because it's a better viewing experience.
Yeah.
But 100% TikTok to Twitch. And then I recommend that to anyone watching. Like I said, TikTok is free exposure. Like you
Yeah.
got to utilize it.
100%. Like, it's helped, like, you know, even like some of the videos that I've posted this year have got like, you know, 90,000 views or whatever. It's like, it's crazy to me because like, if I wasn't using TikTok, that's gone. That 90,000 gone. You know what I mean? Like, that's 90,000 people not.
90,000 eyeballs. Like that,
Yeah.
like, I don't think
Like,
of it
that's-
kind of like that, but
It's
it really
bigger than a
still
core
is.
stadium of people, you know?
I know. It's
Watch my
crazy.
like, and that's not big compared to like. I mean, I had one other video I posted on my personal account of like a fucking. It's funny because how you say like it gives you that like rush.
Really?
You
Yeah,
know
it
what I mean?
does.
It does. And I posted like a stupid prank video on my dad of like a Father's Day prank. Tricked him that there was going to be a mowing ban starting on October 9th, right? Like it was a letter proper from the council that I wrote, like
You couldn't mow your lawn.
and that you couldn't mow your lawn on Sundays anymore, and that's coming into play on Sunday the 9th of October. But really, it was because I was taking him to Bathurst 1000, so I had tickets for him.
Okay.
And so that's what like the prank was. But bro, this blew the fuck up. Like it got like 800,000 views.
Crazy.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Like this is crazy. And I kept seeing it go up and up and up and up and up. And it's like, it's funny because you always think like, I'm not going to be obsessed with that. Like, fuck it. It just doesn't matter. But then when it's happening, you're like, fuck, bro.
I know,
this
I know.
is crazy.
But you know what as well? I think people talk about that, but people don't talk about kinda like it doesn't happen to me necessarily, but the people that content creation's their life and views matter. That like if you post a video, go, oh, I reckon this one blow up, and you wake up in the morning and go, it didn't blow up.
Yeah.
Like you kind of go through lows and highs of it, and it does. It mixes with your emotions at times. It does.
The best way is to just put it up and just whatever happens, happens, and just be okay with that.
I've gotten to the point now where if a video does well, I make it not affect me. Like
Yeah.
I said, like I'll use it tactically and go, okay, if that's done well, let me mirror what I'm doing and see if I can do that again with something else. But I don't let it affect me like I did at the start. I remember at the start, I was like, this is working, that's not. I'm like, oh, no, what is going on? Like, you can't stress about things like that.
Yeah,
Kind
and
of let it
is-
play out.
It is in a lot of ways pretty random.
Yeah.
Like it's
it
pretty
is.
randomized. Like a lot of people, they know like different ways, like you said, like of doing the same sort of thing and different tips and tricks, right? But a lot of it is just a random algorithm that something will it'll just hit and it will go ballistic.
Oh,
right?
it is. Like when you say algorithm, I know I'm talking about a lot of like the analytics of this now, but I think it's be interesting to people because they want to know how they can get their videos up. I remember when I first started during that 2021 lockdown, I worked out if you posted a video for about a minute plus and you were able to retain that viewer for that whole time, it was like the algorithm thought, okay, if this viewer is watching this video that's over a minute long for like, say, 75% of the time, they're just going to like dub that onto the For You page, like throw it onto it. So like these tier list video I remember I was doing, I would tactically do them for like 62 seconds, 64 seconds. And these would get like 1 million views. And I felt like it was just like I was kind of dubbing the system, like the algorithm.
Yeah, it's like you found
yes,
it out.
yeah. And it's crazy. And then like you said, algorithm, comments, likes, saves, shares. Like I will see a video and I'll see if it's got a certain amount of views and a certain amount of time with a certain amount of saves, I'll know that's going to do well now.
Yeah.
Where if I don't see that shares or that save ratio looking good, then I go, okay, well, might not do well. And I kind of see it coming now.
Yeah.
And it's like when you do anything for a while, you kind of know when's it going to happen, when's it not going to be.
Yeah, that's
And like
true.
I say with the views, you got to, average person goes to work every day. You have some good days, you have some bad days. That's literally how the views come in and come out. Like that's what happens.
Yeah. Is Twitch and TikTok and that, is that your full-time?
At the moment,
Thing
yeah,
now?
it's just like TikTok sponsorships and then streaming every day on Twitch.
That's so sick.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's so
It's because
sick.
I also balance it with uni. as
Yeah,
well,
right.
like,
So you're at uni. What are you
yeah.
studying?
Commerce and economics.
Okay, well,
At UNSW.
good thing to be in to make some moolah, mate. So-
Yeah. We'll see where the roads lead.
yeah, but that's sick, man. Like that's to not have to bust your ass at Macca's or somewhere
Yeah.
shit or like
Oh,
typical uni jobs.
But
you know,
no,
like,
but you know what? Like people that like, I was working at the movies like not too long ago.
what movies did you work at?
Event Cinemas.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
used to work at Reading Cinemas.
Yeah.
At Rouse Hill.
I love honestly, Reading Cinemas are the best cinemas.
Oh, it's awesome, mate.
100%.
Yeah, I worked a lot of the time. I worked in the Gold Lounge, like
Okay.
running food to people and shit.
That's not too
you know.
bad.
It was all right. I
Yeah.
didn't mind it. It
I
was
s-
small cinemas, like so you're not having to deal with
Okay.
like a heap of people.
Oh man, I still remember that when that Spider-Man movie came out a few years ago.
Oh, the amount of can't say.
I still remember every cinema. It's like say there's 8 cinemas that joint. Say I reckon 5 of the 8 were Spider-Man. Everyone sold out.
Crazy.
And
There's
I remember-
so many people.
Oh,
coming
I
through.
remember like sweeping all the popcorn in every cinema. And I, still
Oh.
remember, I came back that
And
day.
you got to be quick too, because there's another
like,
movie coming in.
Exactly,
you know? So
they'd
you gotta be
rush
super
up. And,
quick.
and like
yeah.
the way I'm swimming, like kicking this broom along.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then by the end of the shift, because my shift was, I remember that day, I still remember it, I was supposed to start at 11. And I wasn't even supposed to be working that day. Then I got put into that shift. Then I get a message at like 3 a.m. in the morning. Oh, you have to come in at 8 now. So I've already got the shits. I have to come in.
Yeah.
I come
Especially
in-
at 3 in the morning. They can come in at 8.
Oh, it was-
what if
I
you were
was-
still up? Were you
couldn't-
still
I
up?
couldn't believe it. No, because the text woke me up because I had my ringer on. I'm like, what the hell? And I
Oh.
was so pissed. I remember. Anyway, but it happens. It was just me, World War 3 issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then anyway, I remember doing that shift and I kicking the broom along. And then you're just doing it. I went home. I was like, oh, I'm tired. I have a nap. Wake up after an hour. My right leg was hurting. I'm like, why is my right leg hurting? Then as I was like went out later that day, I was like, it's because I was kicking the bloody broom the whole day. So I was like, that's I was like, I always pin back my work at the movies to that one shift, man. I put in an absolute effort.
the little spot sweep.
Oh
broom.
yeah,
Is that what you're
the
using?
broom and the sweep, and then you'd like kick it along because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
broom wouldn't like because it was carpet on the ground, so you
Yes.
couldn't like get
the
it going.
worst thing to sweep fucking popcorn
I know,
with in the
I
world.
know.
Like, give us a vacuum gun.
Oh man, and I was like kicking it along.
Oh,
But sorry,
man.
the moral of the story is that like start anywhere, earn as much money as you can. I feel
Yeah.
like, as a kid,
Yeah.
Like,
Just get out of work.
Uni's expensive. Like at the end of the day, get a kickstart you can, and there's nothing wrong with working jobs like that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I had a lot of fun doing that. Like, it's
Yeah.
probably like all those sort of jobs has made me who I am because you become funny. Like, even if you're not funny before, you become funny
Nah, and
in
it-
jobs like that because you're working with like people around your age or maybe a little bit older, a little bit younger, whatever it may be. You got to make each other entertain. You got to entertain each other. Otherwise, it's fucking boring, right?
is.
So you entertain each other. You have so many laughs. Some of the best times have been like, either at like KFC or Macca's or the movies or at BP. Like I worked at BP for a bit too. That was fun. Like that was a good job.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like you do make fun on the job. You'll make it. I remember we had a group chat, and then people would post like if there's like something wrong, like if something's broken and that. And I remember this one kid would always spam post it, and then me and my mates we had like thing were like, okay, overs or unders. What are we saying? 4 or 5 posts in there today. Yeah. Over or unders. Whoever wins or loses owes us lunch the next day. But you know what I'm trying to say? You made fun with it, and like I've still got those friends to this day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, so,
yeah, no, it's mad. Now, when did you? So you started streaming Twitch at
2021.
2021, so you're 18, 19.
Yeah, I would have been 19. I would have been 19 by the end of that, yeah.
And how long did that take for that to start getting blowing up?
I remember my first stream would have had about like average 10 viewers. And I think people don't realize that once you do it, even like podcasting, when you get a camera on you for every second of what you're doing, they don't realize till it actually happens. And I remember the first stream I did, I was like sitting in front of this camera, I'm like, okay, do I have to speak every second? And you kind of do. Especially at the start when there's not a lot of viewers, there's not a lot of people in the chat. And I'm lucky now that when I stream, I've got my people that come in there every stream and they talk to me in the chat. So I go live, I don't have to think what I'm doing. I just go live, interact with the chat, play the game. That's how it is. But back then it was like, I'm having to like just think off the top of my head to say things because like I can't bounce off the chat if there's no one there.
Yeah. You're just sort of by yourself. It's hard, eh?
Exactly. And that's why I say I was lucky that TikTok, I got to grow quicker. So it would go from 10 viewers average to the next month 30, month after that 60. And then like it kind of like, remember I got to a stage, man, I was like averaging like 150, 200 viewers every time on Twitch. It's during like the peaks of FIFA. When FIFA's interesting, you get different spikes in viewers. But like, again, it's another thing with like you thrill of it. But then I think people underestimate when you build a community on Twitch, you actually do feel attached to them. Like they are kind of your friends. Like I know every person's name that comes into that chat. I know what they've said over the last few weeks. I know how to bounce off certain people in the chat when I'm playing. But yeah, when I first started though, it was a small community. I had like about 10 average viewers in those first few streams.
Yeah, and that is hard because you feel like you're just by yourself. Yeah. I remember during, I think it was when lockdown got announced. I think. Yeah, it must have been. Because I couldn't have a guest in the podcast studio.
Because of
COVID
restrictions.
Yeah. So I did a solo podcast.
Yes. How is that?
And I filmed it at my house, and it's so echoey in that because I was just using a camera mic because all of my stuff was at the studio. Yeah, so I was like, fuck, I'll just use the camera mic. I'll just speak into the camera. And it was all about COVID because I just wanted my fucking opinion heard. Yeah. I was like just doing stats and shit. But I'm like, I tried it without anything first. I was like, I'll just, spitball on that. I was like, but it's so hard when don't have someone talking back to me. So I end up getting my iPad, writing this whole speech out. It goes for like 6 minutes, I think, or something like that. And I had my iPad sitting on top of my camera with like an app on it that was like a teleprompter.
Yeah, teleprompter. Yeah.
So I was like that. And so I'm just like looking at it. But it's so shit. It's so shit. Now I look back.
Like, it's funny you say that because a teleprompter, I know people in like the football TikTok content scene that do use their teleprompters to make their TikToks. I just can't do it. I recommend, like, it depends what style of video. If you're going for like a structured format of a video, I understand that. Yeah. But mine are a bit more like raw, reactive type of stuff.
Yeah.
And like every single time I try to do that, I can't. I prefer to just go kind of off the cuff.
And it feels fake, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It feels like I'm forcing it down someone.
Yeah.
But you know what? Those experiences, like you said, it kind of shapes that. I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to force it like that. That's not my personality.
Exactly. I would rather, if God forbid we ever had another fucking lockdown, and say I couldn't come in here and film, I would just put the podcast on hold.
Yeah.
I'd probably do street content, like where I could go out and talk to people.
Yeah.
And that. I'd probably do that rather than do like a solo thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do a solo thing again.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I do listen to a couple of podcasts where you kind of just get their opinions and they do it solo. And the other day I was watching it and I'm like, how does he just keep on going? How does he just keep on going?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I always need something to bounce.
Like Theo Von does quite a few solo podcasts.
Man, that guy.
But his brain is just cooked.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's a brain up there, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right organ up there, but you know what? It makes us laugh.
You know what? 100%. And he's actually very, very good at what he does. Like, people think he's just a dumb cunt, but I'm like, he's so intelligent.
Anyone that thinks that about him, about I show speed, I don't know, flight reacts.
Yeah.
They used to always say these kind of dumb stuff. People that actually believe that, Like, I'm not saying like it's funny the act, but you know what they're trying to get.
Exactly.
Like they play a character.
100%.
Once you realize they play a character,
Yeah.
and you feed into that, like it's funny.
And it works
is,
for Theo because he has this sort of like a mullet, sort of like you know,
nonchalant.
yeah, a bit like a bit bogue. Oh well, what's the American like white trash sort of like vibe about him, redneck vibe about him. But obviously he's not that. I mean, he sort of is that, but but he just makes us laugh because he's just so cooked.
Yeah, the
Just
stories
says some
he pulls
outrageous
out.
shit, right? And like his way of seeing things, it's so fucking funny. But he knows it works, so that's why he keeps doing it. You know,
and like I said, he knows it works. He probably again would have seen it working. Let me double down on this, throw in a few more stories here and there.
Because he's blown up within probably I'd say like the last few years.
Yeah,
like,
I reckon even within that.
Yeah, after going on Rogan and that.
Yes.
Rogan has kickstarted a lot of comedians' careers, like or really like helped them grow.
And Rogan's an interesting one because he was probably the pioneer of the podcast scene.
100%.
But second that, he can pull Robert Downey Jr. and then pull Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And then pull some other random guy and just talk about stuff that people don't even understand. But
Yeah.
like I will tune into his podcast because I know it's a Joe Rogan podcast rather than I'm going to tune into his podcast because I'm going to hear football content or I'm going to hear something scientific, things like that. I think that's an interesting part about the Joe Rogan podcast.
Well, and that's without sounding like I'm trying to copy him, which is, you know, but that's what I want Speak Free to be. I don't want it to be this niche thing. I don't want it to be this fucking, you know, oh, he talks footy on there or he talks, you know, comedy on there. Or I want it to be just, I have everyone on here.
Exactly.
So many different people on here, you know.
And I hate when you think that you're copying someone because you're not.
I've got my own thing. Yeah.
It's not that. It's you've seen someone do something that's inspired you to do something like them and do that.
100%.
If I became a soccer player and become one of the best players in the world, just because Ronaldo is my idol doesn't mean I'm copying you.
Yeah.
That's the best analogy I can give to someone.
And Kat said the same thing when she was on. She's like, it's actually good that you have someone because it makes it, you're inspired. You're still doing your own thing. You're inspired. It actually makes it easier for you because you have sort of a path to walk in, you know, like
exactly.
Like you'll do things your own way, but it's easy when you've got like someone you look up to sort of, okay, well, he's done that. It's worked for him that way. Like we're all the people who try to be completely different to everyone else are the people who never make it, right? Like, because they're too focused on being this like, oh, I'm not like that. I'm my own person. I'm this and that. Like, you're still your own person just because you're doing a similar thing to someone else. Like,
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And the most successful people are the ones who take advice and learn from those successful people around them. You know?
100%. That like I said, you paid the path for someone.
Yeah.
Like that's how it is. And I feel like in any kind of scene where it's sporting scene or dancing scene, people kind of always compare to the past. I look at it, I go, the past, they kind of created that, and then you've looked at that and go, that was so good. Okay, I'm just going to tweak it a bit. And the next generation does it again. And that's why I keep on feeling that each generation that comes upon it kind of gets better and better and better. Like anything, with time, and you look past on the history, you're going to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And you kind of look at someone else's art and you fix that a bit and become better.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was like Speed and Flight Reacts was the speed of the basketball scene. And then Speed looked at that, let me tweak a bit, let me turn it into the football scene, and they just dominated that market.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like that's just a perfect example that you don't have to copy someone. You can kind of mirror what they're doing, find your own audience, and find what you do and what you like.
Yeah. And as long as you're authentic to yourself, then who gives a fuck, right?
Exactly. Like, and you're enjoying it as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And if I wasn't being authentic to myself, then I'd be like, okay, I wouldn't be able to live with that. You know what I mean? No. So like, if I'm being authentic to myself, I'm telling stories that are true. I'm telling, you know, I'm being who I am. Like, fucking, that's the best because it's like the people who fuck with me are fucking with me for me. You know? So, I do want to talk about now. Obviously, I'm not a Twitch user at all, right? I'll be honest with you. Like, I fucking have never used it in my life.
Yeah.
But I was here with Falcon. Maybe a few weeks ago, right? And I said, Nick Stav's coming in next, right? And he goes, oh, you got to ask him about his Twitch beef. And I was like, all right. So I looked it up and I saw like a few clips and whatnot.
Yeah.
But talk about that. What was that like? Because he's quite big on there, right?
Bateson?
Yes.
Okay, this is funny because it literally didn't start with Bateson. It started with another YouTuber called Nepenthes.
Okay.
And
And where are these motherfuckers from?
England,
They're
UK,
from
man.
England.
UK. And like I said before, when I said
Can't say.
when I say I woke up in the mornings to watch FIFA YouTube and football YouTube, these are the guys I would wake up watching religiously. Like if I was a
So
kid,
you're a fan
I was
of them.
massive fan,
Yeah.
massive fan. And then the Panthers, man, I woke up watching him every single day. Every single day. His foot draft, the glories, his SBC content videos. I would religiously watch Nepenthes. He was honestly at one point my favorite YouTuber. He's different to Bateson, but I'll get down the Bateson rabbit hole. So the way it started was, so in FIFA, there's a thing called Weekend League or Foot Champions. And that's a 3-day tournament. You have 20 games, and then certain how many games you win out of 20,
Right,
you get
yeah.
certain rewards. And because of that, FIFA has like a transfer market. So you buy players and they go up in price, they go down in price. And usually the players will go up in price towards this tournament because the market gets lessened because people are buying the stock for the players you're about to play in this tournament with. Anyway, randomly, it was started this FIFA. That tournament got delayed by a week. So then everyone bought these players at a high and they all went low. So then this Nepenthes guy tweets out as a sarcastic joke. He goes, just letting you guys know I was the one that told EA to delay it because it's not fair to new players. So it was my fault, boys. So anyway, I grabbed that sarcastic tweet he posted out and I go on TikTok and I put it behind me and I go, fuck Nepenthes. All my fucking players have gone down in price all because of you fucking Nepenthes, man. You absolute joke, but you're a grown man. Get off the game, man. Anyway, that video blew up like 800k views. Anyway, Nepenthes then reacts to that video laughing and then he's being sarcastic back. Anyway, he follows me back. And at that moment, it's like a pinch me moment because like I said, I grew up watching Nepenthes. Anyway. And again, this goes back to what I said before about seeing a video do well, do it again a bit. Anyway, then on stream, like it just randomly came to me. And then like it went through this community that everyone would get this certain player. If you're watching Ansu Fati Evolutions, everyone was getting him at the start of this FIFA. And then I started playing with a card. And I'm like, this card fucking sucks, man. Who the one was spread the rumor, everyone to get this card? And I was like, then in my head, I was like, was it fucking Nepenthes again, bro? Is Nepenthes fucking ruining the FIFA scene, bro? It's Nepenthes. Put it on TikTok, blew up again. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take advantage of this and just sarcastically blame him on things that, like, obviously he hasn't done. Like, that's what I was doing.
That's the joke, right?
It literally lasted for a week. So the next video I did, I think I did, I don't know if it was the next one, but this is when Bateson got into it. So this is how I introduced Bateson. So I'd blame a TikTok blaming the Great Depression on Nepenthes and Bateson. Mind you, the Great Depression happened, 1980s? Yeah. How long ago? They weren't even born, let alone me.
No, way before that.
And then I blame the Great Depression
1930s or
something. There you go. I go, bro, it's Nepenthes and Bateson's fault because they told all these kids to buy FIFA points in the game, so then the economic market's gone down. It's fucking their fault. It's their fault. Anyway, post that video. It does numbers again. But obviously Nepenthes and Bateson know that the Great Depression didn't start from it. And Nepenthes, he loved it. He loved it because he was getting interactions from it as well. But he messaged me and goes, hey, Senor, can you maybe just tell your community that it is a joke? Like, we know it's a joke. And I told him because he's getting like messages on like, oh, fuck your family, Nepenthes and shit.
Oh, really?
But
yeah.
even though like, I don't know, like kids just wanted to say that to him. But it obviously, he doesn't need that. He literally is a grown man. This is his job. He doesn't need to hear this stuff in his chat. Fair enough. So I told my audience, like, don't F with him and stuff like that. Like, literally is a joke. Anyway. I mentioned Bateson's name in this Great Depression video. Just mentioned his name. Anyway, streaming the next day or 2 days later, Bateson87 strolls up into my Twitch chat. Nick Stav's Twitch has 20k followers on Twitch. He's strolling upon someone with like 2 million followers in Twitch, like a big name in the FIFA community. And I see his name pop in, and there's a video you'll be able to find on TikTok. I'm like, what? What? And then anyway, I thought he's coming in. He was saying he's like, oh, you don't know me, ? And then like, I was playing up to it. I was like, oh, F you, Bateson, bro. You ruined the game. Just like playing up to it as a joke. Because I thought he was feeding into it. Anyway, and then he writes a couple messages. He goes, oh, you don't want to mess with me. And I just kept on going with it. It was something like that. Anyway, and then someone messaged in the chat, goes, oh, bro, Bateson just tweeted about you. I was like, oh, no, you're joking. Anyway, I go over to Twitter to see if he tweeted about me. Blocked by Bateson87 on Twitter. And I'm like, wait, bro, it actually hates me. I was like, I blame the Great Depression on Bateson and now he hates me. And then from that, I did a video.
So he blocked you before he tweeted about you?
He didn't even tweet about me. He just blocked me on Twitter.
He just blocked you.
Because like he obviously didn't like me or what I said. And then I made a TikTok about that. And then that blew up. And then he was I think he was naive. He should have realized that, like Nepenthes, that it was a joke. Let me feed into it. I'm going to get viewers. Okay. If Bates and Nepenthes are getting a little bit of hate, and then I post a video saying that they can't take this joke well, saying like Bateson didn't take this joke well, not only did that double down the hate he probably got, it 10 times the messages that he got. So mind you, in his comment sections, any TikTok he posted, it was, oh, Nick Stav clear, or Nick Stav on top, or Bateson Great Depression blamed on you. Like, he got 10 times more the hate. I didn't, and he still thinks to this day that I told people, go into his chat and write this.
Oh, really?
I didn't.
Have you ever met him?
No, no. He's from England.
But you've never been at like an event
anyway.
Or anything?
And then I posted a video saying, okay, I'm going to stop talking about this because I don't want to get involved in it to burn all these bridges in the FIFA community because like I have sponsorships with EA at the end of the day and Bateson's big. Like Bateson can one
Fuck
message
that
to
up.
EA and then exactly.
Yeah.
Not sure if he's already burnt those bridges, let's see. Anyway, and then for months I didn't mention him. For months. Anyway, but what I knew was that if you went into his Twitch chat and wrote Nick Stav, you would get banned.
Really? From him?
So if you wrote in his Twitch chat right now and wrote Nick Stav, you get banned. Anyway, someone comes to my Twitch chat months ago going, hey, bro, I just wrote Stav in Bateson's chat and got banned. It's like, yeah, bro, if you write my name in there, you get banned.
From him himself or from Twitch? You're getting banned?
So his mods ban you. So he's obviously told his mods ban these people that write Nick Stav.
Right, okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And then, so I tell my Twitch chat, yeah, look, if you write Nick Stav in this chat, you get banned. Naive me probably didn't think that people would probably actually go ahead and like, let me just try it for myself. So I think about like 10 or 20 people that are watching live on my stream just went in there and just wrote, oh, Nick Stav, Nick Stav, Nick Stav. So then like, he's just like mass reported all these people. And then from his point of perspective, he's gone like, oh, bro, he's just sent all these people to hate on me again. So then he's reported me to Twitch. I'm not sure if he just sent through a report or call up someone I know to Twitch, get this guy down. Anyway, so then I wake up one morning, all these messages go, bro, you got banned. I'm like, what? So I open up my TikTok. I'm like, bro, my TikTok didn't get banned. And then I go, no, bro, your Twitch. I was like, what? What did I get banned for on Twitch? And then I get banned, whatever. And then I do a bit more research onto it. And I get a few, like, I'm not going to name names, but I got a few DMs from people like through the community that knew like what he said and what he did. And yeah, I got banned for allegedly sending a raid of hate to Bateson because I told my viewers to hate on Bateson, apparently.
God.
So he banned me. And at that point, I didn't know it was just like a suspension. So I was luckily only suspended for 2 weeks. So I do have my Twitch back if you're watching. But no, he banned me for 2 weeks. And the most annoying part was, you know, I said in FIFA, it depends on engagement. Team of the year is when they release the best team, 11 players, the best 11 players of the game for the whole year.
And it was during that
And
time.
I stacked all these packs of Team of the Year, and he gets me suspended during my biggest week on Twitch. So, Bateson, man, if you're watching, I think you knew it was a joke. I don't know if you thought I was taking it seriously, but it was annoying. It was annoying. But personally, I don't even hate Bateson, to be honest. I kind of do resent the fact that he couldn't see it as a joke, and he does think I hate him, and I literally blame the Great Depression on him. You have to be naive to think I actually believe the Great Depression was blamed on Bateson.
Oh, shit.
I did, but people, like, I did get a lot of love for that, like, back in the day. I think people sometimes go, oh, bro, you got your name from hating on Bateson. I go, no, I have 400,000 followers before Bateson and Panthers situation happened.
Yeah.
I have 400,000 followers after it happened.
Yeah.
But what I will say it kind of did tie my name to him a bit. Like, if people recognize me in public, they'll just walk past me and go, yeah, fuck Bateson.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's crazy.
You get that?
It is nuts. It's like, I reckon 80% of the people that will recognize me will go, oh, yeah, fuck Bateson.
Really?
100%.
That's funny.
Like, I'll be like at a club or something, and they come and say, "Oh, can you send a video to my mate saying fuck Bateson?"
Fuck, maybe I've been living under a rock because I didn't know any of
It's
this.
it's a FIFA community thing. You have to like, if you played FIFA, you know Bateson. Like, that's how big Bateson and Penthus' names are in that community. That's why to this day that if you do look back and I go, fuck, Bateson actually knows who the fuck I am. It's pretty big. Like, that is sick. That is sick.
It's pretty cool, right? Like, sometimes they say, you know, don't meet your idols because they'll be fuckwits.
Yeah.
But you know what? To have one of your idols, in a way,
Yeah.
you know, people you looked up to when you were young, to hate you,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Interesting story as well. Do you know how Angry Ginge is?
Angry
Ginge. He's blown up in England.
Really?
He's the most viewed streamer in England.
Oh, on Twitch.
On Twitch, on England.
I don't play Twitch. I don't watch anything
Anyway,
on
when
Twitch. But
he started coming
is
up.
he big on TikTok as well?
Oh,
Like,
massive.
Yeah, I've probably seen him pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he kind of started TikTok same time as me. So we like followed each other. We'd message in DMs and all that stuff. So I was kind of all right with him. I'm not mates with him because like he's obviously from overseas, but I keep in touch with him here and there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Anyway, so then because he blew up, he's a mates with Baton and all that. And then I think, because when I was blowing up with the Nepenthes Bates and stuff, someone went into his stream and said, oh, you should do a tag team match, Angry Ginger, Nick Stav versus Bateson and Nepenthes. And then he like responded, he goes, no, fuck Nick Stav, what he's doing, bro. He's fucking hurting on Bateson, bro.
Oh, really?
Bro, like, but I still think to this day, Bateson's obviously messaged him and told him, hey, can you like calm this down? Because I know you're like following him and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that kind of pissed me off at the time because I'm like, bro, Angry Ginger's one of the funniest guys out there. If he knows how to take a joke, if someone that knows how to take a joke, it's him.
Yeah.
And that's why it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I go, and I did get a lot of hate. People go like, oh, bro, like I said, you made your name with Bates. No, I fucking didn't. I didn't. I had 400,000 followers before I talked about them. I had 400,000 followers after I talked about them.
Yeah.
That's how it happened. And that's what rubs me up the wrong way. But what I will say did kind of make me a little bit more mainstream.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know what? Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
Exactly.
It really is.
It is. I think a lot of people do say that, but if you kind of go down that rabbit hole where you're just like, okay, let me just get as much eyes as I can on me.
Yeah.
It
takes away from your
you're relevant, but you got to have people that actually like you because they're the people that fund you. When I say that in a way that you got to have people that religiously like you because they need to come back and watch your content.
Yes.
When you're not funny or you're not the butt of a joke anymore, no one's going to be watching you anymore.
Yeah.
But if you have someone that actually likes you and invested in you, that's what really matters at the end of the day.
Yeah. But I think with anything, right? Any sort of, you know, scandal or beef or whatever the fuck it may be, anything. I think there will be people who are on your side and people who aren't on your side with anything as well.
Obviously.
So, yeah, I do agree, and I think it can take away from like the validity of you and your content, not you personally, but of anyone. If you are always just seeking that fucking, you know, that you know, scandal or whatever it may be to sort of blow up and to just get, you know, attention.
100%.
You become an attention whore, like in a way.
And honestly, I made those videos for 1 week. 1 week, and that got me got me so mad. And and the reason why people go, oh, he stopped it because he didn't want Bates and hated him and like the sponsorship. You know the real main reason why I stopped? I didn't want to be that guy that was known for blowing up, hating on others. Yeah. Realistically, like I wasn't even hating. It was a joke. Yeah. But not even hating. I don't want to use other people's name to get big. And it got, like when it used that week, I was like, I don't want to go down this road. If I'm supposed to be like funny or like informational content and stuff like that, I should get my viewers to invest in me for me. Yeah. At the end of the day. But I don't regret what I did though. I don't regret that week, not at all.
I mean, it's funny, right?
No, maybe I honestly I kind of regret maybe not going even like doubling down on it a bit, maybe with Bates and that, because I look at it, I go, if he couldn't take that as a joke, that's on him, man. Yeah. Sorry, that is on him. Like, if he can't take that as a joke, he's just weak-minded. Like, sorry. Like,
and come back with something else. Like, don't bite back with like a block. Like, bite back with a fucking another joke.
I do get it, because as a content creator, like, he's got a lot on his plate. Literally, he's raising a family. Like, he doesn't need someone yapping down his ear 24/7. Probably just like, let me just cut that out. I understand that. But I was like, it's not like I was literally having a go at him. Like, like, if he just fed into it, it would have worked for him as well. But each to their own. Each to their
own. Were you worried at all? Like, how long after that did you start doing stuff for Optus Sport and Seven and SBS and that? Was that sort of the same time?
I was still doing a few things after. I'm not sure, maybe because like stuff with EA kind of comes in waves because it's like when the new game drops. Yeah. I guess we'll see when the new game drops if I'm invited to any of their events.
But so how long ago was that? That happened.
The Bates and stuff?
Yeah.
The Bates and stuff was like towards the end of last year.
Okay, so pretty recent.
Yeah. Like last 6 months.
So like before, so there hasn't been like obviously a FIFA released in like October. October? September?
September. It is September, October, around that period. If they don't invite me to the event, it is what it is. But,
will you be cut?
No, I won't be cut. I won't be cut because, to be honest, not only do I the Bates and situation, a lot of my viewership from Twitch comes from me raging and like trashing the game a bit. So
so maybe it'll be that.
Exactly. But you know, I like you said, I'd rather be authentic than sit there and just be like a robot. Like I rather I think that's why people do invest in my content. I think that at one stage for the FIFA content, it was the Bates and stuff. and then it was the other stuff just like me raging at the game. And people will come up to me and go, bro, like, do you actually like rage that much at the game? I go, bro, I fucking do. I fucking do. And my cousins, I was literally playing PlayStation the other night. I was screaming down the mic, like not even on stream. Trust me, yeah, I'm a rager, and when I say I'm an emotional person, like I kind of get angry at like small things. And yeah, playing a game, I think any gamer knows that games get under your skin. It's not just a game. Yeah, if someone used that line against you, get in the bin, bro. Get in the bin.
I agree. Like when I'm the same. I used to be the same when I was playing, Madden, or I'm a big NFL guy.
Yeah, big NFL.
Yeah, or a Baltimore Ravens fan. And obviously a massive Tigers fan.
Tigers.
We need a new rugby league game. Fucking
I know, Rugby
game
League
developers.
4. When was that?
Yeah.
I was like in year 9 at school.
I know. It's been too long. We need a 5. We need a 5.
that's it.
Actually, let's get a new person making it too. Big Ant
Yeah,
sucks.
come on. 2K. 2K.
Yeah. 2K. Fucking that would be good.
Yeah,
that would be
but
so good.
Just, NRL was just not big enough, I think.
I
for a
know.
company like
I
that,
know.
unfortunately.
Hopefully it will be one day. But if it's another Big Ant game, I'd be happy with that. I just want updated rosters and fucking
Yeah, you can
new
can download the rosters via something, but
Yeah, but we
game,
want like a new
bro,
game,
it sucks.
new stadiums.
Let's be real, the game
new-
sucks. Like really,
It does. It fucking it's shit.
I remember when I first
always
got
been
it.
shit.
When it first got it, it sucked, and that's
Yeah.
when and that was what.
See,
6
I
years
loved
ago?
Rugby League Live 3.
Yes, that was on the PS3, if I remember right.
PS4. Wait. What are we up to now? PS5.
5.
Yeah, it's on PS4.
Okay.
What are we up to now? Fuck, what a dumb question. Yeah, it was on PS4. Rugby League Live 2 was on PS3, I think, and then
I think
PS4.
I think the Rugby League 2 Live 2 is the one I was playing on
And then,
PS3.
yeah,
Love that
3
game.
was
Love
good. I think it was 3. And then 4's the latest one. Hey?
4's the latest, yeah.
So 3 is the one I love the most. Because like I would put it on legendary mode and still win like
Still
fucking
smash
80-0, bro.
Shit, so you were good.
I was so good. And
Oh,
my brother
God.
would play and he'd be like, "What the fuck? Like how are you
You're
this
cracked,
good?"
dude.
But I was just obsessed with it. I think I played maybe 200 seasons. Like all up, like in all my careers,
Jeez.
crazy.
Nah, but I remember the Rugby League Live 2 on the PS2 because you could like do like a mods to it. Like if you punched in a code, like everyone was fat, or you punch in a code.
Really?
Yeah, you punch in a code and then there was only like one tackle sets. It was like stuff like that. And that was the arcadiness to the game, but that was the PS2 as well, like different gaming stuff.
Yeah, total different era.
But it's nostalgic for me.
Yeah. I loved I just loved rewriting history, and making Tigers actually a good side. Because they're fucking shit.
So,
But yeah, man. So growing up, we talked about this a bit off air, but you're a footy fan.
yeah,
growing
I
up.
was a big footy kid.
So
growing up.
always St. George.
Always St. George.
And
always
what's the
St.
reason you went for St. George?
Grew up in the St. George area.
Oh, you grew up.
Nick Stav was born in the St. George Hospital.
Okay, right. So
there's
you're from
your
like
reason.
Cogra
Yeah,
area,
that
right?
way.
Do you still live there?
In and about that area now.
Okay, cool.
Not too far from Jubilee, so
Yeah, man.
I honestly, it's penciled in if I go into the game today, 5:30 at Jubilee.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like,
Are they playing? Who are they versing today?
Cowboys, man. They've
Oh,
looked good. First
yeah.
2 rounds have looked all right. And the Saints last week went great.
Fucking weren't great at all.
God.
Thought the Tigers were bad, then Saints played. I went,
God.
fuck.
I know. Like, I want to go to the game, and then I went to the Charity Shield game against the Bunnies. Flogged in the second half. I'm like, this what turns me off the Saints. But,
Yeah.
I always
It's good
thought
oval to watch it, but
it is. And what I
Cobra?
say about this St. George fan base, and it's the same thing with the Tigers. Like me growing up during school, either you're a Saints fan, you're a Dogs fan, or you're a Tigers fan. That's how it was. And it's just so shit these days because all 3 teams are so bad. And I always say, this NRL is so much better when one of those 3 teams are good. It just because I feel like in our area, the Tigers fan base is a big fan base. The Dogs fan base might not be massive, but bro, they make their voices heard.
oh, they're a big fan base.
And the
when
Saints-
they're going well, they're fucking crowd.
That's what I'm
turns
saying.
up.
You hear them. You hear them.
Yeah.
And the Saints, the same thing. Like you
Yeah.
also got the presence
And
of
Saints are
Wollongong.
also the best travelers, I reckon, in terms of fan base.
Yeah?
Like I remember being at a Tigers Dragons game at Leichhardt, and I was so shocked at how many Dragons fans there were there at Leichhardt.
Leichhardt back there this week, yeah? Sharks.
Yep, tonight. Yep. This
What's
is being
tonight?
filmed.
Is that the game tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where me and my mate are going after this.
Okay.
Going to sink some piss and have a good fucking time. Hopefully, a Tigers win. 'Cause
Hopefully a Coruscant try.
well, I drove down to Canberra last week. Sorry, when this will come out, guys, we're filming now on the fucking, what is it, the 23rd of March. So just know that because, whenever this will come out, I don't fucking know the date yet. But Tigers playing the Sharks tonight. But last week I went down and watched our first game against Canberra. Fuck, we got flogged, eh? Got flogged.
It's tough. Do you know what I think it is? I think Canberra being pinned as those wooden spooners this year has worked well for them.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Did you see the sign that Ricky Stewart had?
Yes, what was it?
Fuck him.
Fuck him, that was it.
Fuck him.
That was in the
like,
game against Newcastle.
I'm
yeah.
like, that's the spirit they need, man. That's the spirit Tigers need. They should
Yeah.
have that fucking in there. You know what? Everyone talks shit. Everyone's talking shit. You know what? Fuck them.
No, exactly.
Let's go out and just win and play footy. And they've done that. They almost beat Warriors yesterday too.
And I think that's just the thing with life. If you have your expectations on something too high or too low, it can work for you and against you.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's working for the Raiders now. Who was it? I think it was Cowboys. Last year or 2 years ago, were pinned to be wooden spooners, and then we're up there. It's like, because they signed like Tom Dearden and that, no one was expecting them to do well.
Yes.
I think they got like Reece Robson in, and then they cooking them for him.
They went all the way to, it was the year
Scott Drinkwater was
Parramatta beat them in the prelim.
Yes, and then
Para Panthers grand final.
Panthers smoked them.
Yeah, I know. I went to that
I
grand
went,
final.
I went there as well.
Yeah, I was expecting a fucking classic.
Yeah.
But I went to last year's grand final too, and fuck me,
And
that
got
was
a classic.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what? I sparked my memory of it again the other night because I obviously played. But I mean, I was thinking about that Nathan Cleary, that last 30 minutes or so in that game. Watching live, that's going to be one of the most hands-on clutch performances I've seen from an individual
100%.
in sport.
Yeah.
In sport.
I would agree. Yeah, that was crazy. It was crazy. But also what Cogger did as well, like to come on.
Yes, in that Luai.
For Luai, yeah. And fuck, he gave Cleary the space to do what he needed to do. You know what I mean? And yeah, that was a fucking... Man, I was on the Broncos end and they'd all thought they'd fucking won.
But you would think it was.
Yeah.
Ezra Mann scored a hat-trick within how long it was.
Yeah, fucking
But
7 minutes or something.
But they're also lucky because Luai was injured and they were just attacking that one side and they were leaking. And then once they sorted it out with Cogger, anyone's game from there. But Cleary, I just remember he hit that 40-20 and you felt the momentum switch after that.
Yeah.
This is Panthers' game here.
Yeah.
But what a final it was.
Oh, great grand final. 2015, I was also there.
Oh, another great. And that's probably one of the classics. Yes.
The greatest game of football I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Hands down.
I
would put that game there and I would put Game 3 decider 2019.
Yes,
State of Origin,
Yeah,
Tedesco.
Blake Ferguson down the side,
And that was fucking unreal.
Yeah.
That was unreal. I was in the Blatchies Blues going again this year. Fucking oath. I fucking hate Queensland.
Yeah.
I'm like... Some of my mates are not like, they're so big on club footy, like for their team, but they're not big on Origin. I'm like, bro, you gotta get big on Origin. Like, there's nothing like that brings up more hatred in me than being in the Blatchies Blues and watching, New South Wales.
I don't know what it is.
I fucking hate.
I think for most of us, we kind of have this feeling within us that once something's representing us, we kind of got to latch onto it. But it's the Socceroos in the World Cup. Anything Australian based and we go far in, like you feel attached to it.
Oh, 100%.
Like it is the Blues.
Matildas.
Yes, and I think sometimes people do become a bit club over like state or country. And that's the thing in the football world as well. People do have arguments club over country or country over club.
Yeah.
I've always been country over club. I feel like the feelings you get from something that represents you, like your club or your state, I guess, in state of origin, rewarding, it just feels more because it feels like it literally represents you. You can relate to it a bit. But like you said, I've got a mate, it's Manly, mate, and I think Jake Trbojevic got dropped last year. Oh, and I'm not supporting the Blues now. Like, shut up, bro.
Yeah.
Shut up. Just because he fucking sucks, man.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Jake Trbojevic is actually good to be fair.
To be fair, he shouldn't have been dropped.
Exactly, I agree.
But Fittler is a fucking shit coach.
Who's it this year?
Madge.
Oh, that's right.
He's already talking about He's already talking about fucking Zach Lomax apparently being in the wing on the wing.
I love Zach Lomax. I'm a Saints fan, and I'm hearing he's going to go. He's too good for the wing on the Saints, but those wide options you got out there. Tell me Isaac Targo's not getting in over Lomax, but I was watching him the other night. I go, he's got to have a look in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of spots up for that. Like Matt Burden, every time he steps in the centres, cooks as well for the Blues.
True, and but I think they've got Bradman Best proved himself.
Who was in there last year? They put Wyden in there as well.
Whiten no, he retired from
Okay.
representative football.
Who's our
last year.
centers usually?
But
Turbo center. That's the other center.
yeah, who got
Turbo.
and
Crichton fills in. Crichton was like 14. Yeah.
Was he?
He might have started center, I think, in the last game, but he was definitely 14 at one point in the series.
Yeah, because Bradman Best made his debut in Game 3 last year.
Game
in
3, that's
Sydney.
when we had nothing to lose.
Yeah,
that's
and he
right.
played fantastic.
Cool.
He was awesome. I said we need someone like him. He's got mongrel in him, and he's just a little fucking
Big meathead.
He's just a little cunt.
He's my age. He's my age. Look at me, a mouse. He's cheese. He's the monster.
But I said that's what you need in Origin. You need these cunts that just get under Queensland's skin, right? Like
Dane Gagai.
Yeah, but Michael Ennis was the best at it, right? As a hooker, because he would just talk.
Who's the other one?
And they fucking hated it.
Justin Hodges.
Yeah,
he would roll us up big time.
Oh, he made me want to
Will
fucking.
Chambers. Oh, they just are. And I think because during the era, like, especially I grew up when they had Queensland dominating.
Yeah.
But yeah, just those type of step up to the plate players. And New South Wales kind of didn't have that thick skin.
Yeah.
I think we kind of do have those players now coming through, like your Nathan Clearys that can take a hold of a game, which back in the day it was. One year was Trent Hodgkinson halfback. Next year it's Ben Hornby. Year after that, like you don't know who it's going to be.
That year when Trent Hodgkinson was halfback.
we cooked.
2014,
Yeah,
what a fucking win
I think
that
people
was.
always say, oh, Trent Hodgkinson, Josh Reynolds. I think that year was Jared Hayne, man.
Yeah, Jared Hayne. And remember when he fucking put out his...
The Hayne play.
Jumped up... Well, we shouldn't talk too
Yeah, I know.
The rapist.
We're respecting the player, not the person.
Exactly. And
Respecting
you know
the player, not the
what?
person.
It is... That's up for debate as well, to be honest. But he was something else, Jared Hayne.
Yeah.
In his fucking prime. He was something else.
Unbelievable. Like you go through like Ben Barber. But as a kid, I remember my guy was Jamie Soward.
Yeah.
Jamie Soward.
He actually lives in the Shire. He lives next to my work. Yeah. He lives... I always see him. Yeah.
I love Soward.
Yeah.
If I saw him in real life, man, I'd give him a...
He's coaching now, hey?
The
women's?
The women's.
The
women's. He did
for
I think-
Saints.
Yeah, he made the final last year, the year before. But yeah, good on Soward. I love him.
My the company I work for, Tyner Motors, they actually sponsor Saints. So
Okay, yeah.
So if you ever want to go to a game, I can get free tickets, mate. So
Oh, legit?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to see him, man.
yeah. But it's good. It's good. I usually don't take their offer up because
Yeah, Tig.
they're not that good to watch. But
So did you grow up in the Tigers area?
no, so my dad grew up in Granville, which
Okay,
was
yeah.
West Magpies area back then. Before they relocated in the 80s, late 80s to Campbelltown. But they're playing all their home games back at Lidcombe Oval again now.
Yes.
So, yeah. So all the like West games, like for SG Ball and Jersey Flag and that. But yeah, so my dad drilled into me from an early age to be a Tigers fan. Had a soft spot for Panthers as well growing up because I played in the Penrith comp, so we got those like player cards.
Yes.
So we went to every game like throughout the whole season. You know, we were going to fucking 12, 13 games a year. And for a little bit there, I did love Preston Campbell. And then I was like, nah, I'm a fucking Tigers fan. I'm a Tigers fan.
Petro Sinavasiva.
And then, yeah, bro, they had great players,
Yeah.
you know. And I mean, they do again now. But and then 2005 happened, and that was like it's a very clear memory for me of that grand final.
Yeah.
Like I was 7, I think. I was watching with my old boy, and that was pretty special.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty special. So, but yeah, what a game. That was, I think that grand final, inspired like a whole generation of footballers.
Yeah,
like that flick
Benji
pass
Marshall.
and what a moment that was. Like the Rabs call as well, you know, Marshall skips away, Marshall skips away. Like it's so good. It's so iconic. Like it's iconic rugby league. And it was used for years in like commercials and shit after that. And hopefully he can be just as good a coach as,
Yes.
you know.
I know what players like Benji, it's like the football world as well. When you look at him, like, objectively, you go, hey, he's not the best 5'8" of all time. He's not the best half of all time. But they're players, like you said, that influence a generation. Football world, you got Ronaldinho. When you look back on it, he's not going to be the best player of all time. But, man, that guy, what he did with the football, it was just love. It was just love and an art. And especially that generation growing up was like, I want to be a Ronaldinho. Where Benji Marshall is that to the NRL. He had that flair. He had that spice. He'd make it interesting.
And even if you weren't a Tigers fan, every kid still was like, did the Benji step. And like wanted to be Benji.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. And like clearly, I love him. What a player he is. Like you saw him the other night, just like try assist, but he doesn't have that like flair. He doesn't have that like in our game right now. Who's probably the most flair? Munster, and he's not even out there at the moment, realistically. So you kind of love those players that can change the game, have a little bit of flair about them. Reece Walsh, kind of the same thing. Kalen Ponga a bit. But Benji Marshall, that's his own category of just being that flair type of NRL player he was back then.
Yeah, and it was a whole new style. Like,
It
because he
was.
played touch footy as well, like for Keeper Park, and he just brought that quickness to the game. A lot of what we see today is due to that sort of style of play that Benji brought.
Yeah.
The game wasn't played that way
No.
before he came.
No.
It wasn't at all. Like him and Prince together, and then fortunately Prince left to. I think it could have been different.
Titans after that?
Yeah. And he's a Queenslander, so that
makes
was like
sense.
a big money offer for him, and being part of that new team, and same with Preston Campbell, but I think if it wasn't for Prince leaving, I think Tigers could have maybe won another one in that period of time.
Farrell was in that time.
Farrah was there, yeah. Farrah, Chris Harrington.
Tiny
Met Chris, yeah.
Chris Lawrence?
Not in 2005.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. Nah. I think
He
he made his
only
debut
just
2000.
retired.
Yeah, not long ago. Yeah. But yeah, man, that 2005 year was just crazy. They were just such an underdog, and to win it, it went on such a run leading up. I think they won like 8 in a row, the last like 8 rounds.
Okay.
Going into the finals, and then they were just on form.
That's
Hit their
what you
form at the
gauge
perfect
it
time.
from. I think that's what you gauge it from, with the run in the finals.
Yeah.
Like even said Bradman Best last year, I was just thinking to myself, like, how do you get in that squad? But Newcastle had a really good back end of the season that year, I remember.
Yeah.
Last year. And I feel like finals, you just got to peak at the right time. Same in the NBA, you got to, like, even if you come in at 6 or 7, if you're the most hot form team in the league, you can beat number 1. Like, that's how it works.
Same with the NFL too, because it's such a short season.
Again,
it's only like 17, 18 weeks, right?
Exactly.
So you get to there like week 17, and it's always the teams that have like gone on a bit of a run that go well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because they want to be. And fucking Baltimore Ravens, but broke my
Don't
heart.
talk about it.
Broke my heart. Unfortunately, we came up against Taylor Swift's Chiefs, and the script was there.
The script is there. He's in the final as well. I had
listen to
the what's his face, 49ers to win that. Fortunately, lost that at the last.
I was watching. I went to an event that Matty Johns and Cooper Johns hosted.
Oh yeah.
It was a mad event, hectic event, Seven Hills, at the Hudson Hotel, and my mate that came with me, he's a huge 49ers fan, and I've never seen him walk out so quick.
Yeah.
Out of anywhere. He was just, he was devastated.
It
So
is.
heartbroken. He had the shits big time.
It's so, like, you have so much hope when you're walking into a final, but you can come off a lot worse than going into it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to say.
Sometimes when I see heartbreak around me, like at a grand final of, a few grand finals I've been to quite a few now for the NRL, and I'm like, I'm kind of glad Tigers aren't here, because I don't know if I could cope.
I know you can't.
I don't think I could cope West Tigers losing a grand final.
I know.
I think I'd probably kill myself.
Yeah. But you can't, like, I was talking about it last night with my cousins, because, like, we're from a Greek heritage, and I haven't seen Greece play in an international tournament for 10 years. 10 years.
Yeah, wow.
And that's just an international tournament. I'm not talking about get close to winning it, just play in a tournament. And they've got a game on Wednesday. Do or die, you win that game, you make the Euros, upcoming Euros this year.
Shit.
If they lose, they don't. And we're just talking about it. Like, man, if that game goes pens.
That's on Wednesday, is it?
Wednesday morning, it's like 4 a.m. Tough
Fuck.
wake up. But
Yeah.
we'll get up for it, because anything Greece related, and we can get there in that tournament.
Is that so? When it's like, say if they were in the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
Who would you support first and foremost?
Australia.
Of
course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I wanna talk to you about something. I want your opinion on
Yeah.
this, right? So I have a mate, no Argentinian heritage,
Oh,
fucking
man, I'm gonna
whatsoever.
hear this.
a Messi fan,
Yeah.
right? He supported. Now, mind you, I'm not even a big soccer fan, right? But
Yeah.
World Cup time comes, and I'm fucking all about
Exactly.
it.
Australia.
Right?
Like I said.
Australia, whether it's Women's World Cup or fucking the Men's FIFA
Yeah.
World Cup, I'm all over it. I got up early. We versed Argentina early that morning.
Yeah, it was
Like
like
6 a.m., maybe
Yeah.
5:30
I
a.m.
think it was like one of those early ones that creep into the morning. It was
and
around that
pubs.
time. It was like a Saturday or a Sunday. I think, as
Sunday
well.
it was,
Sunday,
yeah. And a few pubs opened up early.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, fuck yeah, I'll go to the pub,
Yeah.
have some brekkie, have a couple beers, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that time, fuck yeah, let's get it. So I went there, and I remember him messaging like, fucking yeah, Argentina. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now, bro?
Right. Yeah.
You're white. You're a white Australian,
I
right?
know.
You don't have fucking Argentinian heritage whatsoever. He's like, yeah, but I'm a Messi fan, bro. I just want to see him win his first World Cup. I'm like, bro, Who cares? You
It's
still
like-
support Australia over him.
Do you know it's tough as well because you know what's funny you say that? I literally made a TikTok about that.
Oh, really?
I think it was like the day or 2 days before, and it did fucking good numbers as well. Because like, it's a situation I think a lot of people actually like had friend groups or something was like that. I had the same thing in my friend group. Oh yeah, bro. But like if Australia win, like they're not going to win the World Cup. I go, bro, how can you? Like, not how can you say that, but like, how can you not want your team to win? I was like, bro, Messi doesn't know you, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
You're
He doesn't care about
Australian.
you.
Like, it pissed me off because at that time, like, not even at that time, even now, like, Australian football needs as much eyes as it can get and as much love and respect it can for it. And I think that's what kills the game a bit, where people go like, I'm gonna take that club overseas or that player overseas that's not connected to me at all over my own country, my own heritage, and the footballers that we're producing in this country.
Yes.
Just because I played with him on FIFA one time.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's not the reason, but like I'm just putting it as a funny bar.
Yeah.
But that game's a heartbreak because you know what? They did us so proud. That whole World Cup they did us so proud. Even that game against France, you're versing Kylian Mbappe, in my opinion, is the best player in the world at the moment. You weren't going to shut him down. Look, they literally lost to Argentina on penalties in the final. The other games with that, we won Tunisia 1-0. Game after that, Denmark. People forget that Denmark side, 12 months before, made the Euro semi-final and lost in extra time to England. Like, that's the team we were beating to go to the finals of the World Cup. I think to non-football fans that don't know, that is an unbelievable achievement. It is like, and what I'll say to this day is like, Australia scoring or winning in the World Cup is bigger than I think what any kind of sporting moment for Australia as a whole. When will you ever get people 3 a.m. at Fed Square, 3 a.m., the way they're celebrating after just a goal?
Yes.
We could have got, Mitch Duke scored a goal against fucking Tunisia and the whole of the country went into fucking mayhem and we
Yeah.
could have lost that game.
Yeah.
What sport is doing that? And I think people go like, oh, Australia, like, oh, soccer, football, it's fucking nothing in Australia. I go, but look at the amount of people that enjoy it. Like, that's it. Like,
But it's not nothing. This is the thing, right? We may be a country of only fucking 25, whatever, however many million we have, 25 million now. But for us to then field a team, right, where it's not our national sport,
no.
field a team, go to a fucking World Cup and multiple World Cup, every World Cup since 2006, correct?
Yeah.
And that's a huge achievement in itself just to make it, right? And then you fucking get into, what round did we reach?
Round of 16. Round of 16.
Round of 16, last World Cup. Bro, 16.
We lost 2-1 to the eventual winners.
Yes.
One of the goals he gave away because our fucking keeper was fucking around with it at the back. They just stole it off him and scored. And we had a couple chances at the end there that on any other day, Australia
Big
were actually...
chances. I remember
Australia
that.
were
Yeah.
going through... Like that, bro. That Aziz Beich goal, run where he went through, that would have won goal of the tournament if it went in. But
Yeah.
luckily, they had to defend the last-ditch tackle. And then the other one was the Garang Quol chance. He's close. When I watched it live, and if you go back, watch it now, I think everyone will say it if you watch it live, you thought it went in. You thought it snuck, like the way the angle looked, you thought it snuck in. But Emi Martinez, when it comes to international football and tournament-based football, that guy's unbelievable for the big moments.
Yeah.
Came up big for him. And at the end of the day, that's what World Cup's about. It's about big moments. Like Lionel Messi turned up in big moments for Argentina.
Yeah.
Their goalkeeper did the exact same thing. Key players turned up when they needed. And that's what was going to win you tournaments at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like tournament-based football and even like any sport, the best team doesn't necessarily win every single time because it's 7 games. Like if you just scratch through and claw your way through, best example is Greece 2004. I know he's Greek, he's bringing it up, but it is. Like they played defensive football. They knew if they just suck it in, nothing silly, don't give away any stupid fouls. When the set piece comes, when the cross comes, we know we're going to beat him in the air. Once we get that one chance, we're scoring. They grab their goal, sit back, suck it in and win. In a league system when you're playing 38 games a year, you can't do that consistently every game. You're going to break and you're going to weather down. But over 6 or 7 games, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
You can, like, that's where the underdog stories come through. And I think that's why Australia kind of did the exact same thing. We were physical. The way we set up our formation, we kind of mirrored their defensive line. We kind of like man-marked them. And then we kind of had Mitch Duke up top, physical presence, a little bit of pace in behind, had a good delivery with Craig Goodwin, and we always had a chance. And I think that's where Australia struggled, that we versed these shitty... Like, we only beat Lebanon 2-0 the other night. Like, but Lebanon, like, suck bad. Like, and I think it's annoying because, like, we're not good enough on the ball to control these bad teams that dominate them on the ball, but we're good against the really good teams because we don't have the ball. but we'll get him with that one break, or when we get him in behind, we'll get him with that one ball.
Yeah.
But I'd never seen Australia go to the round of 16. So that was a very emotional moment for me that day.
What a huge, that was huge. It was massive. The whole country,
Yeah.
was
And
up
then not
watching
only
that.
did we double down on that, we did double down on it with the Women's World Cup here in Australia.
Yeah.
We did.
What a massive event that was.
Oh,
I was lucky
unbelievable.
enough to go to a game.
Yeah.
And fuck, what an awesome atmosphere that was.
Unbelievable. What game did you go to?
The Denmark round of 16.
Okay, we pumped him. Wasn't it?
Pumped them.
4-1, 5-1. It was something.
No,
No.
I forget the score.
Oh no, it was Denmark only
was it
2-0.
2-0.
I think it was only 2-0. Sorry, I'm thinking of
the game before that.
yeah, it might have been Canada. I think it was Canada. That
Canada,
was in
we
Melbourne.
fucking
Though.
pumped them.
Yeah, that was Canada.
Yeah.
We pumped.
4-1 or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But yeah, no, they did us proud. You know what? Like, I was one of the guys that went in there with a positive mindset. You get the guys fucking women's. I don't fucking care, mate. Fucking women, fucking yeah. Get out of the fucking kitchen, mate. Fucking yeah. Anyway, they're the ones fucking on there biting their nails watching that penalty shootout against France. But I was one of those guys where I was a bit skeptical in the sense I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be invested in it. I don't know all these players and all these games. Like, I don't know if I'm going to love it as much as I do love the Men's World Cup because I know everyone generally. Like, that's just how I know.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But that semi-final against England when Sam Kerr scored that goal, I don't know if I've celebrated a goal more than that. And I think it comes down to that aspect again. When it's Australia, someone that's representing you playing, like, you're going to be invested. You just are going to be invested if you're an Australian.
And it brought the whole country together.
It did. And you know what? Not only did it pave a way for just women in sport, I think in Australia that it really needed to do. I think it honestly paved the way for just football.
Yeah.
In general, whether it's men or women, how football powerful it is in Australia.
Yeah.
Because not only did you have it in the Men's World Cup at the start of that year, 7 months into it, you got the Women's World Cup producing the exact same thing, better numbers.
Yeah.
Better numbers. Which is great. Yes, it was at like a reasonable watch time. Like, you're not going to be up at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But unbelievable. I think they just smashed everything out of the water with all like that, like not the hate, but the skepticism around it. I think that's what kind of pissed me off a bit. Like, give it a go. I hate those guys. I'm not fucking trying it.
Yeah.
Give it a go, man. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But you can't say you don't like it if you haven't tried it.
Yeah.
It's dumb. But
100%. I do want to talk just quickly about obviously your work with some broadcasters, Channel 7, SBS, Optus Sport. How did that come across? Did they reach out to you or?
So you might know a man called Claude's.
Yep.
Harry had him on his podcast recently. Hellos.
Yep. And that's with I Want It.
I Want Yesterday. So he's tied.
Yep.
So I Want Yesterday is like a production company.
Doing great things, huge things.
Yeah, produce shows, manage a lot of other things as well. Doing great things in the sporting scene in Australia.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then like I said, I started doing TikTok. And Claude's works at Optus Sport. And then Optus Sport were doing this thing where they bring fans on live. And Claude's obviously noticed me on TikTok, like talking about football, and he realized I was Australian. So he reached out to me through Optus and said, hey, we're doing these TikTok lives on Optus, just bringing on fans on. Would you like mind coming on? Yeah, of course I'll come on. So I came on these TikTok lives like once every week for like a few weeks. And like we'd have good chats about football and all that. Anyway, and then one of the things I Want Yesterday and Claude's do, they run a podcast called the Born Offside podcast.
Yep.
And they invited me onto that podcast, just to like talk about me, my TikTok stuff and football.
That's
like,
with Kat.
Kat's on that as well, and Olin Seckers as well. And we're just talking football. And then mind you, at that time, I didn't realize they were bringing me on because they had an opportunity for someone to be a co-host with Kat Haddad on the podcast during the World Cup every single day for beIN Sports. And I didn't know they brought me on that podcast a little Born Offside to see how I talked on a podcast to see if I'd be suitable for the role. And then in the end,
So it was like an audition.
It was, and I didn't know. So I was obviously good enough on the Born Offside podcast. So they brought me on, and then they said, and then Claude's called me like a few weeks later, hey, we got this opportunity, work at the World Cup, you'll be on beIN Sports every single day during the World Cup, basically.
It's fucking huge, eh?
And I was like, oh my fucking God, this is unbelievable.
So that was you and Kat.
That was me and Kat every day. Oh, me and Kat, that was one of the best months of our lives. Honestly, one of the best months of my life. You'd go in there and I'm working with people I love. The whole crew were great. They support me. They love me. And then I'm also talking about something not only do I know a lot about, but I love it. I loved it. I was invested in it. Like, and I tell you, that was something like the craziest. Like, I was waking up at like 4 a.m. I think every day because the games are so early. So you're staying up late watching the games, getting up at certain times to watch the games, then also had to get up at 4 a.m. to get there by 6 or 5:30, ready to shoot straight after the last game had ended. So then we get like a raw reaction straight after it.
It was like makeup and hair and
everything. It was crazy. And then, mind you, so what they shot our Bean show upstairs, but the big show they were doing was the SBS show because that's on free-to-air TV at 5:30 p.m.
Yeah.
That was where the eyes were on. It was like basically like a highlight show. And Claude's was the host of that. Shout out to Claude. He's unbelievable when it comes to presenting. He's unbelievable. Like, I still remember going in one day and just seeing him read a call sheet, just like bang, bang, like that, and just put it down, just knew everything off behind watching. It's like, has he got like a teleprompter or something? No, he just went bang. He just, unbelievable.
It's crazy.
He is crazy good at it. And then one day, so they used to bring on like guests. So John Aloisi, the guy that scored the penalty to send Australia to the World Cup for the first time in 30 years. That was one of their hosts one day. Mark Bosnich, former Socceroos goalkeeper.
That's huge.
Alexander Baum-Johan playing Champions League semi-final for Schalke. Like, we're talking big names.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, then I get a call the night before Australia played Denmark. So, arguably Australia's biggest game in the history of the World Cup. Goes, hey, man, guests pulled out for tomorrow on SBS. You willing to fill in for the guest? I go, fucking take me now. So, and so, bro, I ended up being a guest on this SBS show. That was like
huge,
aired to so many people. And again, it was a pinch me moment because like you're on SBS, and I thank Claude and that crew to that because they're unbelievable with that. And then from there, it spiraled. Like I was on Channel 7 every day. Like I had my own segment on the Channel 7 World Cup Women's Daily Show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was called The Social Corner. So every day I would come in and I have to scour TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, see what people were posting about the Women's World Cup.
The best videos and that.
Yeah, about to get about 4 or 5. Even if it was videos like tweets and things like that, people talking about celebrities talking or interesting, like funny things happening in social media. So that was every day for 30 days.
So you're doing that every day. And where was that filmed? In like
same as I Won Yesterday studios.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Like was where they shot the SBS set was exactly where they shot the Channel 7 World Cup stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Which was sick. And then the Optus Sports stuff's there. That's when I got flown out to Spain.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, that was sick. I remember I got that call. I was like, yeah, man, take me now.
That's
I got
crazy.
to see Real Madrid play. I got behind the scenes. Got to meet a few of the players.
That's fucking huge.
Yeah, that was sick.
One of the biggest clubs
in
the world.
When I got flown out to Spain, I was like, look, I'm a big Arsenal fan. I'm repping it now. If you're watching, I'm repping it. I love me Arsenal. And I'd never seen him play at the Emirates in London. And then I was like, look, if you can tell him, if they're booking my flights there and back, just tell him instead of going from Madrid back to Sydney, can you just change from London to Sydney? And I'll pay for everything in England.
Yeah.
And then they said yes. So went over there and got to watch my
That's
house.
awesome. That's a dream, man. That's what I was telling Kat on our podcast episode about it, but I really want to go to Baltimore to watch Ravens play at M&T Bank Stadium. What is the feeling like when you go in there and you've watched it on TV a million times, right? And to witness that
it's
in person.
It's so hard to say because...
Did you get emotional?
Oh, yeah. I tell you this, I didn't cry when I got to the game, but I'll tell you, when I was working, because I was working for like La Liga and Optus Sport, and the way it was, they take you through these days where like they called it the La Liga experience.
Yeah.
And they show you around like the life in Spain, and then also life in the city, and then the life of the actual club. So they had you going around the city for like so long during the day. I remember you'd get back at 12, and then I had to post like 1 or 2 videos of that a day. So then I had to go back, get all the clips I recorded throughout the day, then record more, then edit it. I would go to sleep at like 2 a.m. to wake up at like 6. So I'm not, I was working hard. I'm just saying, like, I'm just giving you context because then the day of the game, I went to go watch Cadiz versus Real Madrid. I came back to my hotel like 1 a.m. Then I had to record it, edit it all. Went to sleep around like 3:30. Then I had to wake up at 5 a.m. to get my flight to London. Fuck. So I was running on like no sleep. By the time I got into London, I was like, I need to crash because I'm dead. I wake up. It was too late to kind of get something proper to eat. So I went and got a Five Guys. Mind you, if you haven't gone to London, get ready to empty your pockets because everything's doubled in pound. When the Five Guys burger, chips and drink, £19. So that's what, 38 Australian dollars.
That's fucked.
For a fast food. I was like, you pay it when you're there. But
Five Guys is expensive here too. Though,
I haven't had it here.
Yeah,
But
apparently it's pretty fucking expensive.
well, there you go. Because I paid
Yeah.
$38 for a fucking.
Yeah, I don't think
cake.
it's that expensive,
Yeah.
but it's pretty expensive.
Anyway, then I was like, I got time on my hands. I was checking the times for the tubes, the trains there. And I was like, fuck it, let me go to the Emirates, man. Let me go to the Arsenal Stadium. And I remember getting off the station and walking across the bridge. And I'd been to the Emirates in 2018. My dad went to go to Greece to see family. So I was like, we'll stop over in London and Paris, because like Paris for my sister and London was for me. But this is a bit different. And like, I'm not saying it in a wanker way, but I'm saying it in a sense that I got flown over there for something I did for the content I was producing. So I kind of felt like I earned this. Like I kind of paid my own way here.
Yeah.
And then like I got emotional walking over the bridge and seeing it just under the lights at night. And it was very peaceful and quiet. And like I said, it was like I can't believe I've got my way here. Like this is my dream, to go watch Arsenal play. And then on game day, it's just a surreal experience. Like I remember walking around with my dad, and we were just soaking in the whole aspect of match day, where it's like, and you're just watching people go by, like it's what they do every week. But that's the beauty of it as well, because that's what drives them throughout the week. What gets you out of bed to go work? I'm gonna go watch my Tigers play on the week, and that's what I'm gonna
literally. My mate will vouch for me. We've both been talking about this day all week.
Exactly.
Like,
You know what I'm trying to say? And that's their lifestyle. And that's something I've always just wanted to do. And then when it came to just walking up those stairs to my seat and just seeing it, it was just unbelievable. I was unfortunate at the game. We were versing Arsenal, top of the table. They were versing bottom of the table. Everyone was seeing 4-0 win Arsenal. And within about 5 minutes, Arsenal were down 2-0 to the bottom of the league.
Fuck.
And then Arsenal ended up coming back, drawing 3-3, which was like, for the circumstances, all right. But looking back on it, they should have won that game.
Yeah.
But overall, it was just a surreal experience.
Yeah, it'd be such a good experience.
And it's like you said, like it's bucket list things that you want to do. Like you said, like you want to go watch your NFL team. That means so much to you that when you go, that will mean as much it was to me to go watch Arsenal play in the flesh. It's like, bro, you know what, man? I've been watching the WWE lately. And I'm like, bro, I want to go over and watch WrestleMania, man. And
that would be huge.
And that's another like huge event I'd love to go to in the future.
Yeah.
But again, like it's one of those things like you gotta justify, because it's expensive, man.
It's so expensive.
It's the flights. It's really the flights that like to go over somewhere, like to Europe and things like that.
I'd make a whole trip out of the American trip.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
everything
I'd
I
love to
wanna
go
do.
to America as well. Go to Philly. I want to go to the Rocky Steps. I want to go to the Rocky Steps. My dad was a big Rocky guy growing up, and he got me into those movies, and I've loved it ever since. So I'd love to go there. But LA, Vegas.
Well, if you go to Philly, make sure you go there when it's NFL season, so you go watch an Eagles
The
game.
Eagles, yeah. Lincoln State Field, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Lincoln State Memorial
Park, yeah.
I think.
I just know it's Lincoln. I don't know.
It's something about that. But anyway, we do need to get going. We've been talking for ages, but
also going to be watching the Tigers next week.
Yeah. I like to end my podcast with if anyone. And first of all, actually, before we do this, you recently played in the charity match.
Yes.
How'd you go? Do you love footy, and would you ever play again?
100% I play again. I had a great time playing it. I think it was a good build to the game. Doing it for a great cause at the end of the day. Shout out to the Sports Show TV guys, because they put in a lot of work to get that done, and they get no profit from it. They're pitching in themselves for a bit as well. I think people don't realize that. So shout out to them for creating that event, but also what an event it is, man. It's just good to see people come down there, have a fun time. Bro, I hadn't played rugby league ever in my life. I played touch back in the day. I was like, put me out on the wing. I ain't getting clobbered by some big boys like Harry Hellos himself, eh? But he was great in the game. Hellos as well, man. I love him.
Made a few line breaks.
Yeah, a couple line breaks.
Killed it.
Yeah, Nick Stav with like 2 tackles, 1 hit up. Yeah, I'll take that. That's enough for me.
Were there any missed tackles? Or?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
A few in there. Probably a
we'll rub that off the stat sheet, mate.
Purposeful missed ones. Like, yeah, I'm going to get out of the way. I'm getting hit here.
No, that's awesome. But I like to end my podcast with giving some advice to anyone who wants to do what you're doing, or wants to follow their passions, their dreams. What would be your advice to them?
My advice is just don't give a fuck what people think. The honest, like, once you start thinking that, okay, I'm going to post this, then go to school, then I'm going to get bullied. Bro, the amount of my mates that gave me shit for doing TikTok. And then I'll tell you an interesting story, actually. But sorry, I know you're going to wrap up. A quick story.
No, take your time.
Did a Europe trip last year, and we went to like partying place like Ibiza and things like that. And this place called O Beach, and the guy that runs it is Wayne Lineker. You might know him. He's big on like TikTok and Instagram. He's like nearly 1 million followers. And that. He runs this joint. Anyway, and then my mate's like, bro, I had this dream, and he knew you off TikTok. He recognized you off TikTok, bro, and he got us on the stage and all this stuff. It's like, yeah. Anyway, then my mate's like a bit drunk by that time. He's like, oh, bro, like you show me your TikTok. You gotta go. And we're like, yeah, oi, Wayne, and he put my phone up, and I posted a video about it. And he looks at I'm showing my page. He looks at my TikTok, and he goes, yeah, come on the stage, mate. Go on this, bro. He full brings us onto this VIP stage. Like, I'm trying to explain to my parents that if you buy tables at these places, like €3,000 for this one, that one's €20,000. The table I'm on, invited on, and
So
then
invite only.
yeah, and then
That's crazy.
whilst we're on this stage, one of the best players in the Premier League playing right now, James Maddison, was on there as well. So I got to meet James Maddison.
Oh, that's
take off
crazy.
And I'm thinking like, that's what I'm saying. Or I got my mates to have that experience, and they're the same people giving me fucking shit. Like that, when I say giving banter about it,
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to say. Don't give a fuck what anyone says, because the same people that are like talking shit about you are the same people that are gonna want stuff from you if you do get up in the future. Sorry.
Yeah.
But that's my
100%.
one word of advice. Don't give a fuck what people think.
Well, thank you very much for coming in and speaking free.
Perfect.
And you're welcome to come back anytime, brother.
But I've had a great time on it, mate.
And remember, guys, speak free with MattyG.
That's it. See ya.